Dear students, this is lecture number 22 in supply chain management. First, let us see the questions of the last lecture. The first question is, what is the main criterion to apply direct shipment network to single destination model in transportation? This model is suitable only when the demand size is large enough, that is close to the capacity of the truck to each buyer location. The second question is, define milk run in logistics. Milk run in logistics is a predetermined fixed route in which delivery takes place between a single supplier to multiple buyers or multiple suppliers to single retailer or buyer. The next model in transportation is all shipments via intermediate distribution center with a storage. Under this option, product is shipped from suppliers to a central distribution center where it is stored until needed by buyers when it is shipped to each buyer location as shown in the figure in the next slide. Storing product at an intermediate location is justified if transportation economies require large shipments on the inbound side or shipments on the outbound side cannot be coordinated. So what is the essence of this model is, this model, what it does actually, the products are shipped to the central distribution center where it is stored in the warehouse, and then from this warehouse it is shipped to the each buyer location. And when you can apply this model is, the inbound transportation is very large. That means the products are moved from the manufacturer to the warehouse in large size, but at the same time the shipments on the outbound side, that is to the buyers or customers or retailers, it cannot be coordinated in a particular time or in a particular slot like that. So we need to store the products in the warehouse in very large quantity. Then we have to ship the products to the customers or retailers as and when they need the products. As you see in this diagram, the products are moved from suppliers to distribution center warehouse in large quantity. Then from the distribution center, products are shipped to the buyer locations as and when they need the product. As it is shown in the diagram, the presence of a distribution center allows a supply chain to achieve economies of scale for inbound transportation to a point close to the final destination, because each supplier sends a large shipment to the distribution center that contains product for all locations the distribution center serves. We already seen what do you mean by economies of scale, that is dealing the products in bulk so that the total cost is reduced. So in this case, as you have a distribution center with warehouse, various suppliers will move the products in bulk to the distribution center so that they achieve economies of scale in inbound transportation. That is, the inbound transportation cost will be reduced when they calculate it for particular product. Then the distribution center will have all the products in stock so that they can move the products for the buyer locations which they serve from this distribution center based on the requirements. Because DC serve locations nearby, the outbound transportation cost is not very large. As the distribution center is located in the center place so that it can serve for various locations in short time with a lesser transportation cost. The next transportation model is all shipments via intermediate transit point with a cross-docking. Under this option, suppliers send their shipments to an intermediate transit point, which can be a distribution center also, where they are cross-docked and sent to buyer locations without storing them. We have already discussed the concept of cross-docking, where there is no inventory or very less inventory. So that what happens, the product flow is very similar to the previous concept, but except that there is no storage in the intermediate place. That means all the products that are shipped by inbound transportation are moved out to the outbound transportation trucks. When a distribution center cross-docks products, each inbound truck contains products from various suppliers for several buyer locations, whereas each outbound truck contains product for a buyer location from several suppliers. That means the products from several suppliers for different buyer locations are moved to a central place or distribution center, where the products are immediately moved to the outbound truck, which contains products for buyer location from several suppliers. So major benefits of cross-stocking is very little inventory or no inventory, and the product flows faster in this supply chain. Cross-docking also saves on handling cost because product does not have to be moved into and out of storage. In this model, the products need not be moved from inbound trucks to a warehouse for storage, then again from the stored place, that is from the warehouse to the outbound trucks. That is, the transportation happens in and out. But in case of cross-docking, that is not there because the products are directly shipped from inbound trucks to outbound trucks. So the handling cost is reduced. Cross-docking is appropriate when economies of scale in transportation can be achieved on both the inbound and outbound sides, and both inbound and outbound shipments can be coordinated. Cross-docking is suitable only when there is a high level of coordination between inbound and outbound shipments. The next one is the economies of scale in transportation can be achieved in both inbound and outbound sites. The next model is shipping via DC distribution center using milk runs. As shown in the figure in the next slide, products are moved to a distribution center. From the distribution center, milk runs can be used if the demand size are to be delivered to each buyer location are small. What does it mean actually? For each buyer, the demand size is small so that we cannot operate a dedicated truck to a particular buyer. So then how we can save the cost? We can consolidate small shipments and apply the concept of milk runs in outbound transportation so that we can reduce the transportation cost. Students, observe this diagram. The products are moved from suppliers to distribution center. In the buyer location, you note down the point. The demand from various buyers are consolidated. That is shown as the arrow which combines three buyers in this diagram. So, we apply the milk run concept that is from the distribution center. The products are moved to the buyers, those who are very close, and also the demand size is, that is total demand size is very close to the capacity of a truck. Tailored network. The tailored network option is a suitable combination of previous options that reduces the cost and improves responsiveness of the supply chain. Tailored network option means it is made for the particular uh, customer, or it is custom made. That is, we use the combination of various options what we have discussed in order to reduce the cost and also to improve the responsiveness. Here, transportation uses a combination of cross-docking, milk runs, and truckload and less than truckload carriers, along with package carriers in some cases. That is, we use the mixture of various transportation methods. The ultimate goal is to use the appropriate option in each situation. High demand products to high demand retail outlets may be shipped directly because it can fill the truck, whereas low demand products or shipments to low demand retail outlets are consolidated to and from the distribution center. The complexity of managing this transportation network is high because different shipping procedures are used for each product and retail outlets. The complexity is high because the shipping procedures are different for each transportation method and also for each product. Operating a tailored network requires significant investment in information infrastructure to facilitate the coordination. As we apply different methods of transportation for each product and also for retail outlets, we need to invest a lot in information infrastructure to achieve the coordination in this method. Such a network, however, allows for selective use of a shipment method to minimize the transportation cost as well as the inventory cost. Tailored transportation. Tailored transportation is the use of different transportation networks and modes based on customer and product characteristics. We already seen the meaning of the word tailored is custom made. That is, we are customizing the system based on our requirements. So, in this case, tailored transportation is the use of different transportation networks and modes based on the customer and the product characteristics. Most firms sell a variety of products and serve many different customer segments. That is, what is the need for tailored transportation is, if you take any company or a firm, it is not only selling a single product, it sells a variety of products, that is, number of products. And also, the customers, those who serve, are also in different segments, that is, in terms of demand or in terms of location, like that. Tailored transportation by customer density and distance. Here, the customer density means the number of customers in a particular span of distance. For example, within the radius of 5 kilometers or within the radius of 10 kilometers, like that. And the distance means the actual distance between the warehouse or distribution center and the buyer location. Firms or companies must consider these two factors, this customer density and distance from warehouse, when designing the transportation networks. The transportation options based on density and distance are shown in the table in the coming slide. When a firm serves For a high density of customers close to the distribution center, it is better for the company to have own fleet of trucks that are used with the milk runs originating at the distribution center. That means when you have high density of customers, there is more customers in the particular distance that is close to the distribution center also. So it is better to have a own fleet of trucks and use the milk runs concept, because this scenario will make use of the vehicles effectively and also provides customer contact. If customer density is high but distance from the warehouse is large, it is not advisable to use milk runs from the warehouse, because the empty trucks will travel a long distance on the return trip. In such a situation, it is better to use a public carrier with large trucks to haul the shipments to a cross-dock center. That means you take the products through a large truck, that is public carrier, to the cross-dock center, which is close to the customer area, where the shipments are loaded onto smaller trucks that deliver product to customers using milk runs. As the distance is large, it's advisable to use a public carrier with large trucks. It may be a trucks or even trains to take the products to the cross-dock center, which is close to the customer area. From that place, you move the products to the particular customers using smaller trucks in milk run concept. In this situation, to serve for the end customers, it may not be ideal for a firm to own its own fleet. That is, to move the products from the cross-dock center to the particular customer, we may not go for own fleet, because as the customer density decreases, use of an less than truckload carrier or third party doing milk runs is more economical, because the third party carrier can aggregate shipments across many firms. This table shows the transportation method by considering customer density and the distance. If you take the first row, high density with short distance, the option is private fleet with the milk runs. High density with the medium distance and long distance, we may go for cross dock with the milk runs. The second row shows for medium density, that is medium density with the short distance. The option is third party milk runs. For medium density, medium distance, LTL carrier, that is less than truckload carrier, medium density with long distance, we may go for LTL or package carrier. The third row shows bar low density. Low density with the short distance, the option is third party milk runs or LTL carrier. Low density with medium distance, LTL or package carrier. Low density with long distance, the option is to go for package carrier. Students, answer for these questions.